Hey everyone, welcome back to Sporterbox, and we are here today to review and preview the upcoming Joshua Usyk heavyweight title fight. So I think this is doesn't really need much of an introduction. You know, we've got two great fighters here coming head to head. I believe it's mandatory. Is that right? Is Josh is now getting Usyk out of the way as a mandatory challenger? And I think this is going to be a great fight. I'm very lucky I'm actually going to be there at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to see it, which is I love live boxing, so I'm looking forward to that one myself. And it's great to finally see a fight of this magnitude. Back in the UK again. It's been a while since Joshua has had a big crowd in the UK with a big fight. So yeah, it's going to be one hell of an event, and I'm looking forward to it. And Henry, what's your thoughts on this fight coming into it?
Yes, it's one of those fights where I think it's the nature of the game at the moment where, we're not getting the big fights that we want, the number one fights that we want. And if you look at the heavyweight division, Fury Wilder 3, that's happening, which is good. But, everyone wants to see Joshua Fury, don't they? Or at least, if Wilder wins, then Joshua Wilder. And as a result, people are kind of sleeping on the significance of this fight in terms of if you look back, if you look back on this in 5-10 years time, the significance of having the undisputed cruiserweight champion challenging one of the unified heavyweight champions, is big. Especially if Usyk was to pull it off, I think that will be unbelievable. If Joshua wins, I believe he is the favorite. If he wins, it's nothing to be scoffed at. He would have beaten a fellow Olympic gold medalist, and Usyk's resume speaks for itself in terms of on his way to becoming undisputed champion. He beat all his opponents in their own backyard. So I think whoever wins this has a great win on their record, a great win for their legacy. So I guess it's just a case of how the fight plays out, and it could go a number of ways, I think. But looking at how AJ's been the last couple of fights and ever since the Klitschko fight, I think the consensus is that he's going to be a bit cagey. He's going to try and box with Usyk, and I think I see him trying to stick into those principles. But I also feel like Usyk will outbox him in spots, which will force AJ to start applying pressure and make his his size and his power tell. I think he'll have, but having said that, he'll have to kind of pick his spot. So I feel like he'll try and box Usyk while he can, and then if things get a bit tricky for him in the boxing stakes, then he'll try and impose himself a bit. Let Usyk know he's there, while trying to stay out the firing line of Usyk's counters. So I'm leaning towards an AJ decision. I wouldn't be surprised if he manages to get the stoppage, or kind of switch his tactics and applies pressure to get the stoppage late. But I'm going for AJ stoppage just because, I think he's at this point, he's very, very wary once he gets hit. So he's going to have that in the back of his mind. And despite what people think, Usyk is more than capable of buzzing AJ, and taking advantage. Andy Ruiz, while he is a big heavyweight, he wasn't known as a puncher before he fought AJ. So, it's not beyond the realms of possibility for Usyk to land some telling shots on AJ and have him thinking. So for that reason, I think AJ will do just enough to get a decision in this one.
Steve, do you agree with that consensus, or you got other thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's a good fight. I am looking forward to it. It's one of those rare fights where genuinely you can see either winner by any method winning this fight. I can see AJ stopping Usyk. I can see Usyk stopping AJ. I could see a points win for AJ. I could see a points win for Usyk. It's an intriguing fight. About 2 months ago, I was very strongly leaning to an AJ stoppage. I expected AJ to come in a bit heavier. use his size, be able to use his strength. And we saw the weigh-in. I didn't see much of a change, much of a difference in the size. I know AJ is naturally bigger, but the size difference wasn't that much bigger.
Yeah,
I think
Usyk's
it's
he weighed
about
in
a
at what,
stone.
220, which is pretty
Yeah,
solid heavyweight.
That's the
Solid.
and
heaviest.
AJ is what,
He wasn't
two
that heavy
forty,
for
I think.
Chisora, was he? I don't think
Yeah,
he's
he
that
did.
weight that heavy for Chisora.
Yeah, and AJ coming at 240. So it's about a stone, I think, which sounds maybe a fair bit, but looking at the two of them together yesterday, I didn't think it was that much. So what I'm leaning towards now is this is going to be a cagey affair. Usyk usually is a bit of a slow starter. I think AJ will be wary not to get clipped, and I think Henry's right. AJ will try and box Usyk in spurts. Usyk will probably win the majority of those conflicts, those little battles. Um, I think AJ will probably land the better punches, the more eye-catching punches, and I think he'll win some of the rounds based on that. Um, I see it being a close decision. I see it being close but conclusive, if that makes sense. I see AJ winning by probably maybe 3 or 4 rounds. I don't think Usyk will get hurt in the fight because I don't think AJ will catch him clean enough. I think Usyk will be. It's possible that Usyk will buzz AJ, but I don't think he has the power to hurt AJ. So I think it will be a case of either of them getting caught and then backing away a little bit, rather than bombs being thrown in and it being an all-out war. I don't think we'll see that.
Has there ever been
No,
any
not
AJ? Has there been any AJ fights where you've been confident in his chin holding up?
Ruiz, probably. I mean, walking into that Ruiz
Yeah,
fight, I
not
absolutely.
since
Not
not
since
since
Klitschko,
right?
not since Klitschko. So when you said obviously about you don't see Usyk buzzing AJ, for me, I think it adds to the excitement now watching AJ's fights. Is more definitely edge of your seat stuff because he's vulnerable, especially the counters. And Usyk, can land counter at will when he wants to, and he's going to pack a punch. And AJ doesn't give me confidence in his chin to be able to weather clean counters over and over. He gives me confidence in his ability to carry on fighting, get up off the canvas, and weather a storm and fight firepower. That's what I want to ask if you're that confident in his chin, or do you think Usyk's not going to carry the power to actually knock AJ
the
out?
latter for me. Yeah, it's the latter for me. I think if you put any of the top 5 world heavyweight world heavyweights in the ring with AJ, I'll be concerned for AJ's chin. I don't see Usyk as a heavyweight threat on power. If you're talking about skill, then yeah, I think Usyk's got great skill. He's a great pure boxer who can box, but I don't think he's got the power to hurt AJ, and that's
Yeah,
why I'm not really concerned for AJ.
yeah. I agree in a sense, because unless Usyk just shows us something and he just manages to do it by way of just being able to land whenever he wants because he's so skillful and dents AJ that way. If we go off his first 2 fights at heavyweight, I mean he wasn't. Chisora, he's known for being durable, but he made heavy weather of Witherspoon. Granted, that was his first step into heavyweight, but I'm not sure. I just feel like a combination of the size at heavyweight. We can look at height and he weighs in quite well, but punch resistance at heavyweight, but also not just absorbing power from heavyweights. Joshua has different power at heavyweight. He's not Deontay Wilder, but he's got different power at heavyweight compared to
he's got the speed as well.
What's that?
He's got the speed as well.
Yeah,
and when you've got like accumulation
timing.
of punches, it's
great time. You don't see him wasting many shots as well, which is he's very efficient with it. Which is
yeah. My prediction, to be honest, pays a lot more respect to what Usyk has done in the past, especially at cruiserweight. more so than what he's done at heavyweight. I'm just assuming that this is going to be the best version of Usyk we've seen, despite him being up at heavyweight. That's why I'm kind of giving him his credit. But if he turns up, we don't know what happened, with him, what was going on with him, if he was trying things out with Chisora and with Witherspoon. But if he turns up in that kind of form, AJ's blasting him out mid-rounds. But I'm going to respect him and for those reasons. But I'm not wholeheartedly confident in, Usyk being overly powerful unless he, just hits AJ with shots that AJ doesn't see.
Yeah, and that's that Karama. I think this fight's gonna be done within 5 rounds. If I'm honest, I think I can only base my view on Usyk over his heavyweight fights. I think it was disaster. I think we were watching the Chisora fight and we were saying in a group chat and stuff, and I wasn't impressed with Usyk in that one. I think in Usyk Chisora over the hill, that fight was tailor made to make him look great at the weight, and he didn't at all. And I think he's getting there for AJ now. He's learned a lot. He's still developing, but I think, he's got the power, got the timing, got the speed. And Usyk as a heavyweight doesn't give me confidence in this fight at all. And I think they might have come with a bit of a bluff here. I think, we're all looking at AJ's way and we're looking at, his past fight. He's going to be a bit more timid, try and outbox. I think that's the wrong game plan with Usyk. If you get into a boxing match by the mid-rounds to late, you're going to get drained mentally, trying to keep up with him, trying to work him out. AJ's not at that level yet where I don't think he can stand an outbox on like Usyk. If he does, I'll probably be more impressed if he outboxes him than just blasts him out. I just think, I think AJ, I think they pulled a bluff. I think the first round's going to start a bit cagey and then AJ's going to go on the front foot and get him out of there. Which to me, obviously, saying that out loud as well, it's a bit risky because AJ's always been hurt when he's actually been on the front foot trying to blast guys out. That's when he's been countered. But I think that should be the game plan. I think don't respect Usyk as a heavyweight. Get in there, impose your will, impose your size, and blast him out. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. If I'm honest, I can't see it going into the 6th round. So I'm going AJ within 5 rounds. I'm going to blast him out there. It's not going to be I'll tell you how it's going to go. It's not going to be a brutal K. It's not going to be sprawled out on the floor. He's going to get pummeled, and the ref's going to jump in. The corner might wave the towel, but the ref's going to jump in. It's going to be one of the ones he catches him clean, pummels in, the ref jumps in. Might be some slight controversy over the stoppage, but that's
I think it'd be so boring compared to that. I mean, I paid good money to see that version. I see it being a really cagey, boring affair. I think the jabs will be telling. I think the jabs will be quite interesting. I think Usyk has a good enough jab to keep AJ respectable, and AJ's worked on his jab as well. I don't think he will need to use it as much, just with the reach advantage, the size advantage, the power advantage. But Usyk, I'll be quite keen to see how his jab plays out in this fight. But it'll be fun. I think I don't think it will be 5 rounds. I would be more impressed if AJ was to win on points than if he was to blast Usyk out in 5 rounds, because that shows me a level of boxing ability which I probably didn't appreciate AJ had if he's going to outpoint Usyk, who I think is a very good boxer.
Usyk's got to just survive for me. He's got to apply smart pressure. Use his boxing IQ to pick his moments. Keep AJ thinking. We haven't seen AJ another tactician like Usyk before, so it'd be great to see what AJ thinking if it does go that route. There's going to come a time when AJ fights. He's going to be 3 rounds. He's going to be blowing. He's going to be struggling. He's going to be waiting for his second win to kick in, and that's when Usyk needs to really step it up. Body headshots. Make AJ lost in there. Really use his footwork in and out around him. Just make him get lost in there, get mentally drained, and then stick it on him. That for me is a game plan I think Usyk should go with. Should wait, should box well when AJ's then blowing, then really step it up, and then try and impose as much damage as he can really, and then see it out that way.
5 rounds is usually about the time where AJ starts to gas as well, isn't it? So,
that's what I said. In 5 rounds, I think you've got to just get him out of there. You know, he's not looked great against it too. He's not. Let's be honest. He's not going to transform himself into the heavyweight we think he can be overnight, especially off the back of that Chisora fight. I think that will, I think, you've got to look at him at cruiserweight. This isn't at cruiserweight. This is a heavyweight. AJ is very comfortable at his weight. He hits hard. He's fast. He's accustomed to it. Let's get it done. The only thing that does concern me is how pally these lot are before the fight. We saw this with Ruiz. You're all smiling. You're backstage after weigh and taking selfies on each other's phones, hugging each other. Like, what is this? Seriously, save that shit for after the fight. Honestly, like, it's ridiculous. They're holding hands on stage. Like, what is going on? Your heavyweight title fight. Let's save that. Let's save that mutual respect. You haven't got to be throwing chairs or tables at each other. You haven't got to be disrespecting each other's mothers and stuff like that. You can still keep it. You can still be professional, but treat it as you are going in there to do damage to each other. And then afterwards, you can come to the dressing rooms and hug each other and do selfie videos and stuff like that. That is my only concern, because AJ dropped the ball with Ruiz, played a blinder. Let me hold the belt. Let's all be friendly, and then went in there and threw his hands seriously. And I think Usyk, you got to watch out for Usyk as well. He's not stupid. This could be part of his game plan. Let AJ be all pally and just no animosity, and then in the ring just turn it on. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about. And when Hearn asked him, are you looking forward to this fight? The first thing AJ did was, am I looking forward to the fight? Yeah, I'm looking forward to the fight. That for me doesn't. Is he really looking forward to it, or is he still thinking about Saudi when he had the fight with Fury lined up? So that's my only concern, is AJ's mindset going into this one.
Yeah, I think AJ is a funny one. I'll be honest. I feel like that's just his attempt at being candid and honest. About really wanting the Fury fight, etc. Other than that, I feel like AJ is the kind of fighter who would rather every opponent just came in and respected him, so that he can just focus on his game plan. I don't think he likes when opponents come in and try and ruffle his feathers and get him angry and stuff like that. That's how I see it. I wouldn't read too much into it. Usyk's like this before every fight. A bit of a joker, eccentric. He was similar with Bellew. So yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it, to be honest. If AJ's gonna underperform or lose, it's gonna be because of Usyk. I think. Yeah, but with you saying within 5 rounds, that would be a massive statement. Granted, Usyk hasn't looked that great at heavyweight so far, but it will still be a huge statement to be able to go. No one's been able to do that to you. I know it's cruiserweights, but no one's been able to do that. So I think if AJ does it, it'll be a credit to him. But yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that. I personally don't read too much into that pre-fight stuff. The selfie stuff's funny though, holding hands backstage.
After the weigh-in, and come on, man. Come on.
Cool.
Hasib, Hasib, you're going for AJ points, are you? That's your final pick.
Yeah. I mean, I've been tossing and turning between stoppage and points, but if this was pre-Vlad, I would have gone for the stoppage. But I think he'll be a bit more reserved, a bit more thoughtful on lunging in the finish. Yeah, I think there'll be some hesitancy there. And I don't think Usyk can hurt AJ. So, yeah, AJ points for me.
Yeah, if it was any other cruiserweight moving up, I would have picked AJ smashing. But because it's Usyk, I think Usyk survives to the end and gets points. And that's not to say that Usyk doesn't have a shot in this. It's just how I see the fight going based on Usyk's pedigree, but Usyk's heavyweight run so far. I can see Usyk doing it to AJ, but that would mean that AJ, that would mean that AJ needs to pretty much reevaluate things if he does lose, unfortunately.
But they got the rematch, so they'll obviously run it back if he did lose. And
I don't see Usyk winning this on points anyway. Even if this was a close affair, if this was mildly close.
Do we know who the judges are?
He's not winning. I don't think it matters. I think if it's in the UK, it's gonna be tough anyway. Like,
because it's a mandatory, wouldn't there be the sanctioning bodies sorting that the judge?
Adelaide Bird.
She's still a judge.
Nah, she got banned a long time ago.
DJ Ross and them man.
She'll still give it 120, 180 to Canelo anyway.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, so I'm a stand by it. I'm going, AJ gonna blast him out in 5 rounds. There's purely listen, it's no disrespect to Usyk. I'm a massive fan. If
Simon's like the back in the day. How's it gonna go? We're gonna go for the knockout.
Yeah, it's heavyweight boxing, man. I want to see him knockout.
Boxing his way to a decision.
They're May of Alliance, isn't it? Want to tune in? I'm knocking him out. Next, just schooled in pop shot.
Knockout.
Yeah. No, it's got to be. AJ's got to do it. He's got to knock him out. And there's no disrespect to Usyk. It's just basically, if he hadn't had 2 heavyweights fights, I'd probably be saying points decision, AJ. Yeah. Because I've seen him in his first fight, I'm just basing him off that. He's coming in now, I think, even heavier. So he's got more weight to carry. I can't see him doing his little shimmy and footwork, and he's going to struggle. He's going to feel it. He's going to get some hard shots coming as well. And I think, he's going to be overwhelmed by being with the elite heavyweight that AJ is in terms of this era that we're in now. I think, I'd say the same if he was in there with Fury as well. I think he'd get blasted out quite convincingly as well. I just think, there's a step too far for him. So, it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, we're going to come back and review this fight after it's happened. I think, I'll see there's one prediction out there which can go horribly wrong, or I can be sitting here sipping on some whiskey and smoking a cigar, and you guys can tell me how great my pick was. Otherwise, I might not be available for next review if it goes in other ways. So, make sure you guys tune in back. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And looking forward to this one. I'm going to be there. I'm be rooting for AJ, and I'm looking forward. They've been Tottenham Stadium as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing you boys at the stadium. Henry, I've heard it's exceptional. So looking forward to.
Won't be disappointed, man. Won't be disappointed. And enjoy the pints that come from the bottom.
Look forward to it. Anyway, thanks everyone.